Yeah, I wanted to give you some kind of a framing from through which you could hopefully understand this book a bit better. And I'm talking about the body produces the perception, and you're thinking like body perception, like you very like abstract, vague topics. What am I talking about? Okay, so let me simplify this for you. Uh, when uh, when I say the body produces experience, the perception, a better way of thinking about it, like a more tangible way of thinking about it, is think about a computer game, a video game. You have a computer, it has nothing running on it, and then you uh, go get buy a computer game, install it on your computer, and you begin playing it, and you enter that, you start the game, and you emerge as having an identity, as having a history inside the game, and you have capabilities inside the game, and then you could build up your character inside the game, and you remember it also, but everything that you are, even if you remembered, let's say that you had this gun or that gun, if you don't have it anymore, you don't have it. It's all that matters is what happens inside the game. Your impression of it is not does not determine it. And uh, and then you buy another game, and you start that game, and then you are a completely different character, and in that you have a different history, you have a different everything. And so think about it. um, you get an identity from the game, and you get an impression of that identity, and it compels you, and you might really really care about that, and then you switch to this other game, and you forget completely about that first game, or like potentially. Of course you don't, because you remember, but what you see what I'm saying, like everything that you are is determined not by you, the player, but by code that you run on a computer. Your identity is not you don't become, let's say, a warrior that can yield like 9 weapons, because that's who you are. It's because what the game makes you. And uh, and you don't become a detective in another game because that's who you are. It's because what the game made you. And the same would be, that's, I'm just giving a computer as an example. The same would be true for a book. You read the book, and then you become like something else. So what I'm basically saying is, this is the way to think about the body. The body is like the computer. So the computer itself, when it lets you play that game, or the book, when you read it, think about the book. It's just paper and text. The computer is just the hardware and the software running on it. And the hardware is now running this, could be running any other game or not game, application, word processor, spreadsheet, server, Bitcoin miner, anything. The computer doesn't have a concept of what it's doing. And so this is, when I'm saying the body, you should think about that computer. That's And when I'm saying that the reality, physical reality, doesn't exist, it's the same. It is not fundamental. Like, there's something deeper. You should think about it as physical reality. The physicality of the reality in the game is code execution, and you can change everything about it. If you load a different, let's say you have a different save, and you load that save, the past, you can change all of the history inside that game. If you start a new one, create a different. So everything about the idea that there's some kind of a existence of obviously you don't think there's a past in the game as you play it, right? You don't think that the same applies to your life. And so this is how you should understand yourself. if you in the game, if you die, right, you start a new game. You don't. Your eternal soul doesn't carry over anywhere, right? It doesn't inside the game. I mean, it's nonsensical. Just start a new game. So the same you should think about everything that identifies you. There's nothing about it that transcends the thing that produces perception. Now, when I'm saying it, I'm not saying that physical reality as you know it is the fictitious layer, and the thing that produces it must be 100% real. It could be also a game inside a game, but it doesn't change the fact that your identity belongs not to the experience, but to the thing that produces the game, or the game, or the virtualization of the game, or the game in the game. Like, they're separate. Like, this is how you should, if you understand this metaphor, you will find it much easier to understand everything else I'm arguing. This isn't to say that I think that reality is computer generated anything. I'm not saying that, but there is a different way of thinking about it. When computers don't compute. Computers run just follow laws, the laws of nature. In the case of computers, they don't try to perform computations. I interpret them as computations. In that sense, everything that follows its own rationale is equivalent to a computer. A ball falling on the floor is equivalent to a computer. It's only the person that looks at the computation that says, "Hey, this is computing 3, the value of 3 times 9, and this is the ball falling on the floor."